Okay, good afternoon. Today on Group Podium Junkies, I have Talon Smith. Talon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hey guys, I'm Talon. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm going to be 39 years old. I'm a behavioral emergency response team nurse. I own FTX Hybrid Athletics. I'm a full-time doctorate student. I just retired from the military last year, and I absolutely love Hyrox. So It's going to be in a nutshell.
So 39 years old, and you own is it a fitness studio or gym?
Yeah, so it's a hybrid gym. We primarily focus on Hyrox.
Yes.
It used to be a CrossFit affiliate, but we kind of transitioned away sort of from the CrossFit model. I think for everyone, unless you specifically want to do, high skill movements, there's a little bit better training with that methodology, and that's kind of where we bridge into Hyrox and hybrid. And I feel like it's more accessible to more individuals. So that kind of determined our direction.
Yes. Well, man, you already gave me some really good topic to chew off on here. So hybrid fitness. So do you also train for like the Decas and the Deadly Dozens and the other hybrid stuff that's out there right now?
So we have athletes that participate in that. Specifically, I think there's a lot of carryover.
Oh,
for that.
yeah.
Do I personally race that? No, but we do have like the training plan that allow athletes to do that. And I want to clarify, we also do have Olympic lifting and on kind of the hybrid side for that. But again, it's a sort of a different class set that we offer. But yeah, we're about everything. We have people, who run marathons. I do ultra marathons as well. People do Deadly Dozens. They do races, CrossFit competitions. It's just kind of trying to encompass everything. But our primary program is going to be our Hyrox program, and we've been really successful over the past 5 years now.
Yeah. So if I find myself wandering around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, where's the gym located?
It's in West Fort Worth. So we're like, if you've Camp Bowie, it's a very kind of famous area. We're sort of in that direction, West Fort Worth. And yeah, man, we got a small little place. We're actually working on expanding right now. Working with general contractors is not the easiest thing to do, but we're going to get there. So we're excited.
Yeah, when we finish, send me a link in Messenger to the gym, and I'll make sure to include that in the final edit of this.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll get you a good shout out for that gym. All right. So why Hyrox? How did you get involved? What was the moment you were like, damn, I got to do this Hyrox thing?
I think it was my gym manager and I at the time. We were looking online like, hey, like what's something else, cool we can do? We did the Olympic lifting, we did CrossFit, sanctionals, whatever that process was. And I was like, hey, this kind of looks cool. He goes, this kind of looks cool. So we just randomly did it. And that was back in November 2021 in Dallas. So we ran it thinking they were going to cook it, because in CrossFit workouts, we could hold like a 130 for 100 pace. We could run 3-minute 800s and go do the stuff. So we're like, yeah, that's going to be cake. We absolutely got cooked. And at that point, got cooked, man. Like it was rough. It hurt. So like anything, if I find something challenging, like I want to lean into it. And that kind of kicked it off. So we podiumed our first race in November 2021. We went to Worlds. And at that point, I was hooked.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about that first race. When you got there, did you think this was just CrossFit meets running, or tell me about your first race experience?
I don't quite remember what I thought during the time, but I was like, man, this is going to be easy. It's only 1,000 meters of running. I don't know. Like, it didn't really click in my head that it was 6 miles at any point. So we were like, oh, we're going to be conservative. Nah, man, we full sent it. And by burpees, like I was talking to Jesus. It was a rough race. I think that race was like a 107. What we ran for doubles, doubles the first time. So yeah, it was an eye opener of just how not. That's the best way to put it. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, this running is going to kill me. So it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So tell me a little bit about your background. Have you always been into fitness, sport, back in high school, into college? Give me a rundown of your history of sport and fitness.
Absolutely. So I played football. I ran track. I was primarily a middle distance sprinter. So primarily like the 400 and 800s. Played baseball. I actually dropped out of high school and then moved to Los Angeles when I was like 17, turning 18. And then from there, I enlisted in the military. And obviously in the military for me, I got to work with a specialized unit. So, fitness was like our life. And if like you weren't in shape, you couldn't take care of your brothers. So, training there with like, it always pays to be a winner. You want to be the best. And that sort of just carried over with me, into CrossFit when that hit. And then I just kept it going because after I got out of active duty, it kind of became like my mental peace. And then, realized I enjoyed training people, and here we are.
Yeah. So in the military, what you were tell us what you were in the military and what Were you in the
So,
what branch of military too? Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force?
so I was a Fleet Marine Force Hospital Corpsman. If you know what a Corpsman is, they're pretty much like combat medics, but
Yeah.
they're Department of the Navy. But I served with the Marines. So from what was it? From 2009 until I retired last year in 2025, I was with embedded in a Marine Corps unit. So yeah, so it was
Uh,
I preferred it. Yeah, they gave me the option to go to hospitals, and I was like, nah, I think I'll stay with the Marines. Great guys, great mentality, a lot to learn from them. And I want to say that I was raised by a bunch of degenerates who helped shape me who I am today, and I'm very thankful for that. All the lessons they taught me. So.
yes, yes. Well, that's cool. How many total Hyroxes have you raced, and how many times have you been on the podium?
So I've raced 48 times. It'll be 50 at World Championships this year, and I think I've podiumed 20 times, somewhere around 20 times.
48 and 20. How many times have you qualified Worlds?
5. So ever since 2021, we've qualified.
Oh, so 21 would have been Vegas, right? Was that Vegas?
Yeah, yeah, that was our first Worlds. Was Vegas. We qualified in our very first race, so we sent 2 teams to Vegas, and we literally, like I said, just tried Hyrox stuff like this looks cool, and then we're like, okay, we might be good at this. We can figure this out.
Yeah. So Vegas and Manchester was the next, or no? Was it Manchester?
Yeah. So Vegas, Manchester,
Nice,
Chicago, and then now Sweden.
Sweet. So 5. So you are going this year to Stockholm. What category are you racing?
Mixed doubles and men's pro doubles.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's the same as of right now. As of today, that's where I'm racing too. But my pro doubles partner's got a sports hernia.
Oh no.
And it's really got him. He can't do a wall ball. He can't lunge, and he's struggling running. So we came off of our first race that we raced in Dallas. We set the world record for the 55 to 59, and now he's to the point he can't lunge, wall ball, or really run. So Anyway, that's our problem. He's trying to do the cortisone thing, do whatever he can to get just fixed up for Worlds and then go have the surgery. But the surgeries he's got to have is going to take him out for like 6-7 months.
Yeah, the abdominal surgeries are no joke, especially some of those hernias. And I don't know exactly what they're going to do. Well, I mean, I hope he gets a speedy recovery. But yeah, man, I remember your guys' race in Dallas. You guys cooked. You had some guys who were in men's pro doubles. You guys were moving, man. I was like, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah. So much fun, dude. So much fun. I absolutely love Hyrox, and I love talking to people that enjoy Hyrox. So that's why I have you on the program today, Talon.
Well, I'm excited, man. I same thing. I love it too, man. I think it's a great sport, and I think it's like I tell everybody, if you're like over 30 and you used to be competitive, this is the perfect place for you to come to establish a healthy lifestyle and sort of reignite that competitive edge. Because I feel like a lot of people, once we're competitive, maybe awesome athletes in college and high school, life hits you, man. You have a family, you got to go to work, you got bills to pay, and it's just like, okay, cool. Like, what really drives you? And Hyrox has sort of made this sort of community and this race, which is like an event experience every single time. It sort of is able to allow you to, train. I personally think, 6 to 7 hours a week, be relatively good at the sport, and, chase things like, world qualifications, chase podiums, while balancing that family life and still just enjoying life. It's been like a really cool dynamic with the sport. Whereas for like competitive CrossFit, in my opinion, for you to, you'll never be on the floor with Rich Froning on that competitive level. But in Hyrox, you'll be running, next to Lauren Weeks and Hunter McIntyre in a doubles race. And to be able to be on the same floor and compete with them, it's just a really, really cool dynamic.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head, Talon. Absolutely. And the community, like, as you alluded to at the beginning, the community that's out there with us is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's so many different people, so many different stories, so many different walks of life. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm at races, I think that I'm absolutely impressed by what the elite athletes do. But it's more the athletes who come out there who you're like, they're putting themselves out there trying this race. They might not be in the best shape. Adaptive athletes, individuals who might be slightly overweight who try that. Like, that really inspires me because they're stepping out of their comfort zone, and that's a really cool aspect of the sport. I feel like when you see a community that cheers louder for them than they do the person who's getting ready to go to Worlds, like, that's community you want to be around.
Yeah, I completely agree, Talon. 100%. Well said. So you've run solo, you've run open, pro, mixed doubles. You've raced every single. Do you have any, out of all the different ways you've raced, do you have one way that you really like to race? Like, I really like to race solo pro, or I really like to race mixed doubles.
I would say doubles in general. I think for me, and it's the whole aspect of like the military always having a teammate.
Yeah.
And like really working with each other. And then I think for me, and this is just like an observation, I think that you see, individuals do well in both, obviously, but I feel like people who come from more of like a sprinter background seem to do a little bit better in doubles, right? So it kind of favors sort of my, I guess, experience. And also, like I said, man, having that teammate in doubles, doesn't matter what division it is. It's just really cool because you have somebody that you're suffering with. And anytime you suffer together, like we learned in the military, you grow stronger together. So it really builds those really cool relationships and dynamics. I do like pro solo, but I mean, that's just a sufferfest, man. Like there's nowhere to hide. Like nobody's coming to save you. It's you and Jesus and an 8K and some stations, man.
Yeah.
It's fun though. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Out of all the races you've run so far, what's your most memorable race?
So Worlds last year, I actually qualified with my dad, and we got to run World Championships on Father's Day in Chicago, and that's probably like my favorite. And then of course I run with my mom as well. She's in her 70s, so anytime that I get to experience it with my parents, man, that's my favorite race. But Father's Day with my dad, probably one of the coolest things ever.
Oh, that's pretty cool, Talon. So you are 39, is that right?
Correct. I'll be 39.
You'll be 39. How old? And your dad's in his 70s, I think you said, right?
70s. Yep. So it's just really cool, and like I'm thankful for every day I get to have with my parents. More than any Worlds, a lot more than any podium. Anytime I can share the course with my family member, man, like that's what it's about. That experience, because those right there, those are core memories that are gonna last forever. Like we have those photos. Like I have our Chicago medals. And just the fact that my mom and dad in their 70s are willing to go out there and do that with me, it just means the world to me. It means, again, like it will mean more than any podium or road qualification I ever have, or it's just family, man. That's what it's about. So it's really cool I get to have that with my family. And then soon my daughter, she'll be doing Salt Lake City Hyrox Kids. So I can't wait to race with my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She's 13. She's gonna be 14.
Oh, cool. I have raced with both my kids, my son, my daughter. We've raced pro, and my son and I have raced the Open Pro. So yeah, it's so cool that your mom and dad are both in shape. So obviously they have a little bit of a fitness journey behind them as well.
Actually, not really. So this is kind of funny. So my dad was a wrestler in high school. My mom like really never played any sports past 13. And then I pretty much had this conversation. It was one day she retired. I'm like, hey, I need you here longer. I'm like, I love you. I'm like, but I need you to take care of yourself. So then I want to say back in like maybe 2018, she started coming to the gym, started with CrossFit.
Yeah.
And then I got into Hyrox and she got into Hyrox. And then my dad was like, okay, cool. He hadn't done anything really fitness wise for years. He goes, I think I want to do this. I said, okay, cool. So we started out, my dad ended up just started running just so he could get his legs under him, and we did New York. There's a great picture that I could show you of my dad. He absolutely died. It was great. But they just, anyways, they didn't really have this background, but they saw me doing it and they're like, you know what? I think I can do this. And
yes.
They started doing it. So it's been really cool to see them go from, not completely sedentary, they're active, but from no fitness to like, now, my mom's in class 5 days a week. Like my dad, he works in Atlanta and flies back here. He's running 3 to 4 days a week and then in class when he can. Like they're at Run Club. They'll be at Run Club on Tuesday night with my gym. So it's just a really cool experience to see them go from nothing to now finishing a Hyrox race and doing it together. So
yes.
It's really cool.
So you said your dad commutes to Atlanta for work. What's he do by any chance?
So he works for Delta. So he's an avionics technician. So he'll come and he'll stay here for 4 days, and then he works 3 days in Atlanta and just flies back and forth.
Oh, cool. The only reason I asked is when you mentioned he worked in Atlanta. I'm a Southwest pilot.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, when you mentioned the traveling for work, I thought there might be an airline connection there.
There was. Yes, sir. Yeah,
especially when you said Atlanta.
Yep, the hub.
Yeah.
The hub right there. That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so all the venues, you've been around a lot of places. You've been to Manchester, you've been to Nice, you've been all over the U.S. racing. Favorite venue? Or favorite city? Favorite city or favorite venue? You're right?
Yeah, that's kind of hard. I enjoy them all. I think that, I think Manchester and Nice, the stadiums were cool. I'm sure you remember Nice, though. That stadium was so hot.
Oh, roasting.
Like, how many people do they take out in an ambulance, man? I just remember being on the course. I looked down, my heart rate's like 225, and I was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Nice was pretty cool. I think I like the stadiums. However, I don't know how you feel about this because I know you were there. I think Phoenix, for me, with like the Pat Tillman statue right there, like that one hit for me for the military connection. And I think that was really cool to race in Phoenix and sort of have that connection. Like you're walking the stadium and there's Pat, Tillman's statue. So I would say probably the coolest for me was I would say, Phoenix. Phoenix was the coolest one to be into.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you too. It's so cool because I'm from Chicago, but I live here in Phoenix now,
Yeah.
and I race both. And I love the Chicago venue there at Navy Pier. And I always tell people the hotels are reasonably priced, and there's tons of great food all around. Right?
Yeah.
Phoenix was just so cool in the stadium, and like you said, you brought in there the Pat Tillman thing, right? The connection with the military and Pat Tillman, and anybody that knows the background on that, it is just it may when you go to the statue, it'll bring a tear to your eye when you know the story behind Pat Tillman. Yeah.
So he gave up everything, to go serve his country, and unfortunately, passed in a friendly fire accident. But like when you're walking in the stadium, there was no way not to feel some sort of way. Not only that they had honored him, but you're getting ready to walk into the stadium that this man played in before he ultimately, gave up everything to go serve his country. So it was Phoenix for that reason. And I mean, I think we're moving to that direction in the Hyrox, where we're going to have most of these events in stadiums to keep them standardized. So it was really cool to see that be like the first one. And then with the military connection, man, I was like, this is awesome. I liked it.
Yes. All right. So far in all your races, what's been your single best race time in solo or doubles? Do you remember off your head?
Yeah, so we just hit a PR with my buddy Clayton, who's also a Southwest pilot. I trained him. He's awesome. We hit a 56-51 in men's pro doubles.
56-51 in the. How'd you guys do in that age group? In your age group,
we got third.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, we lost the first form boys, and I forget who else it was, to the Elite 15. So it's like, all right, what are you gonna do? Like,
what race was that?
That was Hyrox Houston.
Okay, yeah. You guys are in that tough age group, though. I mean, you look at that age group, and there's always like 200-300 pairs. Well, I'm exaggerating there, but it's a good number. It's 80, 90, 100 pairs.
Absolutely. And then in 30, I would say anywhere between like in the 30, the 39 age range. I know they have it split now, but that's where a lot of the competitive athletes that we're seeing for like the Elite 15.
Yeah.
I think it's at that kind of experience where, somebody now has been running for 10 to 12 years. So you have really experienced, really strong runners who've been doing this for a long time. So, I mean, just to be able to compete with them is absolutely cool. But like you're running, you're watching these guys cook, and you're like, I'll catch you one day, man. You're moving, but we'll get you.
Yes. Give me what shoes do you currently race in, and have you experimented? What shoes have you experimented with Hyrox over time?
So I've only actually experimented with two. So I ran in the Ultra Escalantes, and that's back when I was doing like more of the just pure CrossFit. And now I race in the Saucony Pro Endorphins. I haven't bought the 5s yet, but I will. Yeah. So I love the Pro Endorphins. I love their plate. I think they're great. They're light. But yeah, I just race in the Saucony Pro Endorphins. I'm waiting for them to sponsor me, but apparently I don't have enough followers, so that'd be cool. They're expensive. But no, I highly recommend those. Clayton, who we were just talking about, my partner, he wants me to test out the Pumas. He really likes those.
The Deviates.
Yeah, the pink ones.
Yeah, the new ones. Yeah.
I wish I had a different color scheme, but I mean, I hear they're really good.
Yeah, I got it. I haven't tried them out. I got to try them out too, just to see if they're worth the hype. Yeah.
What do you personally run in?
I run in trail runners, Saucony Peregrine trail runners.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm 185 on a good day, fighting weight, and I just don't have a whole lot. Like I want everything in my push or my pull I don't want to slip at all, right? I want every step to count. And I've judged at Hyrox and White Shirt Judge, and I've judged in both sled, pull, and push, and I watch people's feet slip all day. And even if you're only slipping 3 inches or 2 inches per each step, that 2 inches multiplied over 100 steps is a shit ton of wasted energy at the end of when you get done. So with a fresh pair of Peregrines that I've only worn like 2 or 3 times, just freshly broken in, I don't slip at all in the pull or the push. Like every step goes into the full energy goes into the push or the pull.
That's awesome. That's interesting. I never would have thought that. That's a really cool take on them, man. The Peregrine is awesome. I might have to mess with those. I like those.
Yeah, it's funny. You'll notice there's a couple of guys in the crowd that are over 50 like myself. You'll look down at their feet and you see they're in a trail runner.
Yeah, I mean, smart. It makes sense. I mean, because that's personally, I mean, and you know this as well. Like we see a lot of downstream, a downstream impact of like what the sleds will do to you late in the race. A lot of people, feel like they're struggling on a specific movement, but really it's a metabolic impact that those sleds had on you. And like you said, wasting energy in the push and pull. Like you might have, bad lunges or a bad row, but the fact of the matter is you cook yourself on push and pull from something simple as not having the correct shoes.
Yeah. If your pre-Hyrox self could see you now on the podium, what would your pre-Hyrox self say to you, or what would be the thoughts going through your head?
Do you like running now? Like that would be it, man. Yeah, I think for me, pre-Hyrox, and I don't know if you've heard this story. I actually got medically retired from the military. We found out that I had a congenital heart disease, so I have a bicuspid aortic valve, but I actually have an aortic aneurysm and like regurgitation in all my valves. So I was very much big into like weightlifting. Like I snatched 285, I was cleaning like 355, back squatting over 4. And then after I got this diagnosis, I basically can't lift as heavy.
Yeah.
So it transitioned me into running and endurance, which again does put some stress on your heart. But because of my sort of like baseline strength, my doctors were like, hey, no, it's cool. So again, I would be like, oh, you like running, but I essentially like found Hyrox and made the adjustment at the right time when they figured out like, hey, you have these underlying conditions that, could be potentially dangerous. So it's been a really cool adjustment that I still have a sport, that I can participate in. Just because like this whole cardiac stuff it's fresh of like 2023. I just found this stuff out.
Yeah.
So it's been a really cool adjustment to be able to still have something that I can train for. I can do it safely. Now, granted, I have to see a cardiologist like every 3 months just because they don't love it, but like I'm not going to change who I am.
Yeah.
But it's been cool. But I would be like, hey, you run now.
Yeah.
That's what I definitely say to myself.
Hey, so tell me this, Talon. What's that? What's the name of that condition that you have?
So I have a bicuspid aortic valve, and then I have a aortic aneurysm. So basically a balloon, like where the vessel's weak and it like balloons out. Mm-hmm. And then I also, it's kind of crazy. I have regurgitation on my valves. I actually have a hole in my heart, and I have something called POTS. Basically, what ends up happening is if it's a nervous system issue that if I stand up too fast, my basically blood pressure tanks, my heart rate spikes, and I like pass out. So that's why like movements like the burpees, or if I ski a certain way, like I'll end up getting dizzy and almost drop like right when the wave starts. So I've had to kind of like accommodate the way that I approach the race a little bit different than most people.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's been kind of cool. Like I said, like I'm running now. It's been great for me. And I think, my base fitness and all has kind of kept me where I'm at and didn't sideline me when we got all this news.
Yes. Is one of those conditions with your heart, is that where your heart, when it pumps the blood, some of it fills back in? It doesn't. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit different, a little bit difficult. So coupled with that, I do have circulation issues. So like you're saying, like when it goes to squeeze, not all the blood needs to go where it goes. Some of it backfills. So my heart has to work a little bit harder. But then again, oxygenated blood, not all of it's getting out like it needs to right away to circulate to keep my muscles moving. So kind of the byproduct of that is compared to a normal athlete, like ends up happening is I end up building lactic acid up a little bit quicker because my muscles need that oxygen and they're getting it. It's not like my heart's not working, but when you're looking at like, an elite athlete who's one full pump, everything's out, they're getting what they need. I'm not getting 100% of that. Now, it doesn't decrease my performance to where it's like increasingly noticeable. I can't make a statement on that, but it is a fact that, my muscles and my organs aren't getting this blood the second that they need it, or all of it they should be getting compared to somebody normal. So it's a challenge, but we just work through it.
Yeah. So I got one more question because I have a buddy that has that condition, and he went in and had what they call a clip, I guess, put in. Did you have any treatment, or are you just managing?
So right now we're managing. So if you had an aneurysm, they clipped it. Correct? They clipped that probably.
They put like some kind of clip that helps to keep the heart when it does a squeeze and pushes the blood out.
Oh, on the valve.
Yeah, they clip they call it a clip. It's not like they cut it, but they insert some kind of clip, and it allows the blood to flow more freely and not come back through.
It prevents regurgitation come back.
I
haven't had a clip yet. Everything's just essentially medical management at this point. So just keeping an eye on it. Just because I am so young that like as soon as it becomes too much of an issue, they'll go and they'll fix the aneurysm, fix the valves, patch the hole, and do all that stuff all one fall swoop. So that's coming someday. We don't know when it is, but just because of the condition, that's why I have to follow up pretty regularly with the cardiologist to be like, hey, dude, like you are still good. So. Because it's 4'9" right now. At 5 centimeters, I go to surgery. So we're right there. We got a centimeter. We're going to play with it.
Yeah. Well, good luck with all that. Obviously, Talon. Let's move on. What advice when somebody comes into your gym, they speak to you specifically, and let's say they've got a little bit of a fitness background, and they say, "Hey, I want to jump into this Hyrox thing." What kind of advice do you give somebody that wants to jump into Hyrox, or what's the line of questioning you put them through?
With me, so I obviously asked their experience, how much are they running per week? Like, where do they come from? As far as that background, was it CrossFit versus like some sort of aerobic class? And I just kind of want to know where they're at. And then for me, the thing that I tell them is this is a long game. And the reason is because what's really unique about Hyrox is like, what you have to train for. But when you think about it, it's not just like, 8 events you're training for. Like you have 9, including running. So it's going to be a long person's game to where you're going to have to do a lot of the very similar things over and over again if you want to be good at it. So if you want to be good at the sport, if you want to enjoy it, like be prepared to do a lot of work that a lot of people want to avoid, which is going to be like the easy biking, the easy runs, right? A lot of technique work, spending time on ergs, and just be prepared to invest a lot of time in this and enjoy it. And then from there, obviously, I can try to see what their work schedule is and see what we can do. So like I said, I feel like you can be good at the sport, like make a podium working out 6 to 7 hours a week, which isn't a lot. And that's including like, hour and a half long zone 2 runs. So it's really trying to figure out, where they're at and then where we're going to get them. What level of seriousness do you want to take this? Because it's, I don't know if you see this. I think the sport's becoming more and more competitive. We're seeing triathlon athletes, marathoners. We're seeing, OCR people like kind of Hunter, all these people flood the market. They're doing really, really well. So a lot of people are coming in and like, oh, I'm going to kill this race. I'm like, hold on. Let's start with day one. Like, where are we at? So.
Yeah, no, it's getting more competitive across the whole, across the spectrum. And then, I always tell people at races, you never know who's going to show up, right? You never know if that guy that has the triathlon background and the marathon background that went out and did some strength training in the last 6 months is coming to race today, right? And that guy comes in as a complete unknown and ends up podium. I think the races, they're getting more and more competitive as we go here. And at times they're dropping across the board, right? The sub 60 now has been broken, and the guys over 50, the over 55, it's been broken now at the pro level. So just insane, right? I mean, just 5 years ago, if somebody was going to break sub 60, that was still a question, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I will say to this note, I would love to see course standardization because I think something's in the water in Europe on those courses, but like that's another conversation. But no, absolutely. I mean, look at Luke Greer, man. He came in absolutely unknown with a marathon background, and he's performing extremely well. He just ran an amazing race in Warsaw. I think he qualified for the Elite 15. But you're seeing these guys, you're like, man, where'd you come from? And the guys and girls, right? Like Alyssa McCaney, I can't think her name, from the U.S. She just popped out in like the last 3 races, and now she's Elite 15, I think, world qualified. You're just going to see this happen more and more. And I think it's really, really cool for the sport. But I think if you're, I don't know, I call myself like a mid Hyroxer. If you're like a mid Hyroxer, like it ups the ante on what you have to do to train to get to that next level. So again, that's what my question is, like, what's your intent with this sport? Because if you're trying to be serious, like the demands are now increasing if you want to continue to go to Worlds and be on that podium.
Yeah, and I think you'll agree with this too, Talon. I always it's fantastic to have a goal to train. Why are you going to the gym, right? A lot of people just go to the gym. They think they're working out, and they're doing a light workout. They're getting, they're putting some time in. But when you have to train for something, it's a whole different mindset. It becomes a lifestyle, right? And like I'm in the best fitness shape I think I've ever been in my whole life. And I owe it all to the Hyrox.
I think that's with life though, right? Like when you have a purpose, when you have a why, and you can define like what your mission is, and you can clearly, articulate it, put it down on paper, and it's tangible, like you're going to work harder and stay more consistent. I think that goes with anything in life, right? Like set a goal, and if you write down your goal, you're likely to achieve it. And now we have that with Hyrox.
Yeah.
You just go online, try to sign up for a race, get a ticket, and you got that next goal in front of you. So I think it really gives people purpose behind movement, which is obviously, like I said, it's critical. If you don't have a goal, you're just going to aimlessly wander around.
Yeah.
I think, that's why a lot of people end up leaving gyms because they don't have a goal. Hyrox is now giving, people multiple opportunities to race through the year, and it's been a really cool thing to see.
Yes. Going back to your gym, do you guys run simulations, or do you have any signature fitness challenges that you do at your gym?
So I don't want to call myself like a diehard coach in this manner. I think simulations are abused by gyms a little bit. And I understand wanting to bring in clientele, new clientele, but there's gyms that'll run them every single month, and like the intent is to use them as a benchmark to make race adjustments. Yeah. So we don't do that too often. We probably do one, and depending on the racing, I would say we do a full simulation once every 6 months, depending on the race season, and then we'll do miniature sort of like race test sort of metric testing about once a quarter, and that's usually sometimes in the form of like the front half sim, and that's for pace testing, right? I think
Yeah.
Rich Ryan did a great podcast on this. We've been doing it for years. It's you want to basically test your tolerance all the way up past burpees to that row to be like, all right, cool, like how do I need to adjust my pacing, how my body's responding. So I wouldn't say that we we run too many simulations. I like to use them for testing that purpose. So
Yeah.
again, I'm kind of a diehard like that, but I think it's really important to use it correctly and not sell that as the high point of your gym offering as a simulation.
Yeah. So you guys do benchmarks then?
We do, yeah, absolutely. We use benchmarks where we use it. Part of our race day training, usually the week before, is we'll do like a 50% sim, usually a week out, to let people just have the run through, run the flow, touch the gear. It's about 70%.
Yeah.
But again, it's more of a training metric versus it is like an event. We actually hold one large sim, and I think last year we had 142 people run over 3 days. And we'll do that once per year. But other than that, I like to keep it very much like, hey, this is training. This is the purpose. You guys are paying me to take you from here to here. Let's use sims with the intent of training, not as a marketing product.
Yeah, no, that's good, Talon. All right, so let's go to your training week. I know you just swapped over to working the graveyard shift. And my hat's off to you, man, because that would be a tough one to manage and training at the same time. But let's talk. How do you train personally for Hyrox?
So again, this is where I'm diehard. I won't program something that I haven't done myself or that I won't do. So I actually follow the program that I do for my gym, because I believe if the program is going to be good enough for my clients, it should be good enough for me. So that keeps me honest in programming, that I put the same quality in training myself as my clients. So I generally work out, I would say, about 6 days per week. I have one rest day, and then my rest and recovery day is usually like a zone 2 bike. But other than that, I follow our exact class schedule, and then I do additional work. And any additional work that I do is going to be zone 2 based, easy aerobic work, just to accumulate volume without accumulating fatigue. And I don't know about you with kind of your training theory. Like I train when I can. So if I have to stay up until if I have to stay up until 1 a.m. to train, like I'll stay up at 1 a.m. to train to get on the bike and do easy work. If I have to, wake up early to go on before shift, like I did yesterday, I was on the bike for 90 minutes before I went to work yesterday. Like I'll just get it in when I can. But for the most part, like I said, man, I follow the program that I write. And I don't know if I'm sure I read one of your posts, so I feel like you're kind of on a similar thing. For me, rest day is a non-negotiable. Recovery day is a non-negotiable. A long zone 2 run every week is a non-negotiable. Doing threshold, tempo, interval style training is non-negotiable. So that really leaves you with upper body, lower body, strength, and accessory work, and then Hyrox specific workouts. And I think that's pretty much universal. So every week I'm going to get something very, very similar to that end. And then the hours, again, fluctuate. But generally I'm training, like I said, about 6 days per week.
Yes, no, I completely agree with you just said, but I tend to go overboard because I've got so much time on my hand and I thoroughly enjoy the gym. I'm addicted to it. So I do go overboard. I have experienced overtraining now at least like 2-3 times. Overtraining is a real thing.
Absolutely.
And then obviously too, you overtrain, you get hurt. I've experienced that. So I've had to make adjustments to how I train.
I think it's very common in Hyrox to see that. I coach a lot of different people, and I think that there's always that like initial excitement. So they just go 0 to 100. But from looking at it, and this is like where the medical side comes in, like physiologically, like overtraining, it can absolutely wreck you, like you said. And then a lot of people don't look at it from like the idea that like, your nervous system needs time to reset.
Yeah,
absolutely. And a lot of people have a big tank of fitness, and I've experienced this with different athletes. They have this huge tank. VO2 max is huge, insulin is huge. They're super strong, but like they're not able to express their fitness because number one, their nervous system hasn't reset, and number two, like their body is so fatigued from just constantly pushing and pushing. And it's one of the craziest concepts that I try to tell my athletes, like, be comfortable backing off for a week and a half or 2 weeks. Like, decrease volume, decrease load, and see what happens. Don't stop moving, but understand that if your body's not reset, you're never going to fully be able to express what you built on the course.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, Talon, because right now I'm having to go through a little forced reset because I had a surgery last Wednesday, a minor surgery. So I have to recover. I have to recover from that for a little bit. So I'm having to take like a forced recovery, like 10-day period or so before I can really kind of get back at it. So we'll see. I'm going to see. It'll be a good test for me because I haven't taken a full 10-day rest recovery period in probably 5 years.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like you're getting after it. And there's runners and athletes who accumulate that volume. If you're familiar, are you familiar with Jack Daniels? He's a pretty famous running coach.
No, no.
So if you look up Jack Daniels on YouTube, highly recommend that. Really good guy to watch. He'll kind of discuss, like what happens like when you rest and like how much fitness you actually use. And there's really cool studies that basically say, like at some certain point, like I think it's like 7 to 10 days, you'll lose a very, very small percentage of fitness. But the cool thing is it actually comes back a lot faster. So when you look at these studies and everything, it's really reassuring, that if you do have to take a break, it's not going to absolutely kill you.
Yeah.
So I would just say that, like, check out Jack Daniels. He's really good running coach, really good insight on that, man. I think you're going to come back and absolutely crush it. I mean, you've had an amazing career so far, and I don't imagine the surgery's going to hold you back. But yeah, I think that's a big thing, man, is overtraining. And part of me believes, and tell me if you feel differently, but a lot of people are going to like social media for like their ideas of health.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I'm not saying, don't do that. I absolutely love that people are putting out content. I think it's great. I absolutely support anybody putting out content, but they get sort of, I want to say, mixed up in their ideas because they see one person saying, oh, zone two, zone two, zone two. I'm just going to do zone two. And then they see somebody who's like, oh, no, you just need to be doing threshold work. And, oh, no, like if you're not doing heavy strength training to load your CNS, like you're doing it wrong. So people are just kind of like all over the place trying to take these generalized ideas and put them together. And it does lead to that overtraining, and it really doesn't make them progress. So I think that, finding a gym and a coach who actually looks at this from the standpoint of like what does the science say? Like where you get to make $3, it's going to be extremely valuable. But like I said, I think all the content's cool, but a lot of this overtraining happens where they're trying to do everything they see on social media without understanding how to put it together.
Yeah, Talon, exactly what you said. Like you are an expert in this, right? You have the background, you're in the healthcare profession, right? Yeah. So you understand stuff from that perspective. And then you're also into fitness. And also you have your own conditions yourself, right? With your heart. Yeah. So you have a higher level, and plus you're an experienced racer. You have a high level of experience with everything that goes into being a Hyrox athlete and how to be the best Hyrox athlete. And I think you've said it perfectly. I have a gym that I go to here that just happens to be called Suffer City.
Right.
And the coach over there, Jason France, he is spot on with exactly. He has the same mentality as you with training and the same approach. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was fortunate. So I actually started I graduated in December with my doctorate of nursing practice and psychiatry. But the biggest thing is we had to actually do like research papers and all this. So you're having to learn how to go in and read these studies to see, like, are these studies, just because they're out there and peer reviewed, does that mean that they're actually worth anything? Like, is there any bias in it? Is there actually a large enough sample size? Like, did the science they run actually make sense? So then I started taking that and applying it to Hyrox and be like, all right, cool. Like, what are these running coaches saying? What are these triathlete coaches saying? What are these strength and conditioning coaches saying? What are these physiology labs saying? And then trying to put it together. Because like when you think about it, right, like Hyrox is so new, this hybrid era, we don't quite have all these data marks that we do on triathletes and runners. So essentially, and I think somebody said, I think it was Sean Noble, we have no idea what the hell we're doing, which isn't completely true. But from his perspective of we're still trying to figure out what this looks like, he's not wrong. So what I've tried to do is take these studies and put it together and be like, what makes the most sense? Because when you think about strength and you think about endurance, right? Like there's different pathways to really get good at one. And we're trying to find that perfect balance. And I know that Adidas Lab in Germany, they're doing a lot of really cool stuff, but without them completely publishing their data, all we can do right now is take what we know is working from the sports that are all involved sort of in this and try to make sure that we're balancing a training program that's going to be safe, effective, and get those long-term results. It's just like a really cool place to be right now with the sport. And I would say we're both early adopters of it to see where it's going to be the next 10 years when we get all of this data and be like, man, like this is where it's at.
Yeah. If I had to comment at all, I would just be repeating what you just said. It's I've always said, like the people I coach one day a week at a gym, and I always tell the people, I was like, I started off training for this 3.5 years ago, doing a sim every week because I was like, well, I guess I'll run, do my strength days, and then go do a sim once a week just so my body starts adapting to what this whole thing feels like. I didn't know any better, right? And then, if you look, even Elite 15 athletes, the way they have trained over time has changed, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So like Alexander Rogers, same thing. Like he was down training with the Kenyans doing running. Like he posted that.
Yeah.
And, he'll post his stuff. And then you have, Dylan Scott, Charlie Botterill, who are putting in like 24-hour weeks. And you have Linda Meyer, who, like what I alluded from her interview, I think on Rock's Life, she's somewhere between 9 and 12.
Yeah.
And like their training splits vary, and there's certain things they agree upon and certain things they don't. And then it's the same thing when you're looking at all these performances. You're seeing these elite 15 athletes who are following one training protocol, they hit a peak, and then next thing you know, like for 5 races on this training program, they're not PRing at all. So it's like, okay, cool, what happened in that block, what changed, and then where do they adjust? And to your point, they almost switch what they do and turn different knobs to try to get a different result. So it's just a really cool place to be in Hyrox. And I don't know if people understand this right now, like the 2.2 million racers we have, we're all still early adopters and where I think the sport is going to be. So people are at a really cool point to be like, okay, cool. I remember when we started this training block, you know, where we thought, you know, 60 miles a week running was going to be where it's at. I don't think anybody thinks that. But, you know, we're 40 miles a week, something that David Megida alluded to, I think 2 years ago, like running 40 miles a week is a sweet spot. You know, doing 2 strength days is a sweet spot. It's really cool to be in that early adopter phase to be like, what's this going to look like 2 years from now when we have the data from Germany, from the Adidas lab, and we get universities who are going to be on board, you know, the next generation of exercise physiologists who are looking at this hybrid training for what it's going to be and be like, man, this is what it is. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. You know, the other thing there's so many thoughts you brought up in my head. I am big time into the health span and biological age, you know, and that kind of big movement right now too. And it's kind of interesting that Hyrox and that kind of coincide together because, you know, for health span and longevity, the combination of training to do is both strength and cardio, 100%. Right? And that's what Hyrox is. And it speaks to the whole movement of biological age and health span for when you get to be that, you know, that over 50 or over 45-year-old person that's trying to push the clock back a little bit, right? Hyrox lends itself to helping you achieve. It really helps lend itself to achieving that. Yeah. Anyway, any other comments there?
No, I think it's cool. I think, you know, what they're finding out now, like VO2 max, I think is overall something they're looking at for, what is it, for the cardiorespiratory health. Like, I mean, that's something that we work on all the time here. So I think the benefit that you're discussing is 100%. We just now found a way to set that goal, like you said, to have something to race for. Yeah. While, you know, developing our fitness and overall establishing something that's going to keep us healthy a long time. I mean, how many times, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I remember like in the early 90s, everybody wanted to retire at 50, sit down and drink a beer. Yeah. And now Hyrox has completely changed that narrative to like, hey, just because you're retired now at 50, like you don't need to sit down and drink a beer. You need to grab, you know, some X endurance and get back out on that course. Like, let's go. And it's really cool narrative change. And I think societal change that like we're going to, where we're seeing more individuals healthier longer. And it's for something, you know, like the influence of Hyrox and of these hybrid fitness events. And I think are really going to help propel that.
Yes. You know, the topic that we're talking about is, God, we could create 2 or 3 additional podcasts just 100%. On the subsections of what we're talking about, right? Because like, with biological age being a huge thing right now, you know, the really about getting into the gym when you're over 50 instead of, like you said, picking up the beers and retiring and sitting at the beach all day. That's kind of not the idea anymore, right? It's like to keep moving, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, my dad said a long time ago, he refuses to quit working because he says, if I stop moving, you know, I'll start dying. And granted, he was still doing Hyrox and stuff, but there's truth to that, man. And going back to the start of this conversation, your daughter's like, I don't want to take care of people who haven't taken care of themselves. Well, man, you know, here in the next few years, she's only going to be taking care of people who are fit if this sort of trend continues. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool to see what happens. And I think also to that point, I mean, you saw it with your daughters and your son that they're into fitness now. I think there was a study that came out that said this generation is drinking and partying less and going more into fitness. Yeah. So it's really cool to see, you know, the impact that you're having on your children. But I think overall society, the benefits that we're seeing from staying active. And I think hopefully it's going to be something long-term, you know, that we see. And for anything, this is my statement to everybody. Like, I don't care if you podium at Hyrox. I don't care if you qualify for Worlds, but this sport is going to keep you accountable, like you said, and help you move, which is going to keep you healthier a long time and give you more time with your family, which at the end of the day is what we all want. And the only thing that we don't get more of is time. So it's valuable in that sense to me. Yeah.
You know, you hit on the head what I tell people that I train with. I'm like, you know, it doesn't matter. You're not competing against the guy next to you, the lady next to you. You're competing against yourself to be the best version of yourself every race. Make that your goal, to be the best version of yourself when you show up on race day, and train to be that best person, right? Don't worry if you're going to make the podium. Don't worry if you're going to be the best one in your start tent or best one in your age group. Go out and do your personal best.
Absolutely. And I think to even extend that, I tell everybody, like, fall in love with the process.
Yeah.
Not every race is going to be a PR. Don't attach personal value to a time. Don't do any of that. Like, the fact that you're in the gym working, putting in that effort daily, showing these essentially characteristic traits that are extremely valuable in every area of life: discipline, consistency, hard work, sacrifice, right? Like, that's where it's at, and that's where it matters, man. It's just like you said, show up for yourself, but don't attach any value on you as a person or an athlete based upon a race time on a course that's historically not standardized. But go out there and fall in love with the sport and become the best version of yourself every day. In our gym, we have, it says, there's two things it says. It says 1% better every day, and then you don't have to, you get to. And that's in the cardio room when you walk in, man. And that's what I love about this, is it's your opportunity to get 1% better every day and set yourself up for life.
Yeah. You know, you said don't take it personally if you don't PR that day, because, you know, obviously we all know these race courses are not apple to apple, orange to orange. They're more like apple to pear, kind of orange to grapefruit.
Yeah, but, very much so.
Yeah. But me, if I don't PR or do as well as I set the expectation for myself at a race, I get pissed off. And 100%. I get the fire in my belly, and I'm like, and I go back to the lab, and I'm like, where did I screw up? What did I do wrong? Why did I run, 5 seconds slower pace at this race? So I know I have to get it through my head. You're not going to PR every race, but for me, it puts the fire in my belly for my new training set block.
And that's what we want for athletes to have too, right? Like, I want you to have that fire. I'm not saying don't be upset, but it's like I say, just don't attach that value like you're a bad athlete for not doing that. And I think that's one of the cool things too, right, man? You get to look back, and I think that a lot of things that athletes understand, even gym owners and trainers, not every block that you train in is going to hit the same. Yeah. Like, we're still figuring this out. Like, I have a great idea on how to program, but I might go back and look at my block and be like, man, like, your training volume, through week, your run volume through week, 3 to 5 or a little bit low. Or, for example, maybe you pushed your athletes a little bit hard right here with intensity and adjust, fire, and go. But that's the cool part, man. It's a long-term, it's not a long-term experiment, but it's a long-term game. Like I said to you, are you in this for a long game? Because you're going to have good training blocks, bad training blocks. You have great races, bad races, but you're going to make amazing memories. You're going to connect with really cool people. You're going to fly to really cool states. You're going to run a really cool course with awesome DJs and see people around you that inspire you. And at the end of the day, like you said, you're going to be fitter for it. So when you have that perspective, man, you have that fire. I don't know. It's just a great space to be in right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. So going on from that little conversation, do you have one station at Hyrox that you're like, man, I just crushed this station. You can't wait to get to it because you can own it?
Wall ball. Give me the wall balls.
Yeah, I'm the same. Wall balls.
Give me the wall balls even cooked. So what was it? In Worlds in Vegas, I think me and my partner, we were both crazy at them. I think we did them in like 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So like I can cook on some wall balls. I've done them unbroken in doubles before. I haven't done unbroken single yet. But for me, I feel like it is the just most intuitive movement. So like I don't really have to think. Like, I don't have to touch my knee on lunges. Like, I know my butt's going low. I know I'm target I'm hitting. Like, it comes from the military, man. You got to keep it simple, stupid. Get your butt low and hit the target. You got it. I'm good there.
Yeah. We speak the same language. Wall ball is like, when I first started to train, and my first coach, gave me that wall ball and said, hit this target. I was like, oh, good God. I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm going to hit that target. Right. Yep. And then I was like, I got to figure out how to train for these things. Right. So I did the air squats, and then the jump squats, and then the thrusters and devil press. And then the next thing you know, like you said, you do the unbroken, and I can do unbroken team relay, no problem. I've come really close in the singles, and in doubles, I've always felt like best to split it up with the partner to 100%. let them enjoy. But yeah, I've often told my doubles partner, hey, let me go. And if I get there, let me just do it. Right.
Yeah. My cue is like, if you start over, depending on, usually right now, I actually wait to go because I'll try and do a big set in the middle now if it makes sense. But my whole thing is like, if I start slowing down, pull me off. Like, if I see a cadence drop, slow down, step out, let me take it. And then I just go until like I'm about to die, and then we'll give it back to you. Yeah,
that's exactly my, with my partners too. I say, I'll go until my cadence starts to break. And if you see my cadence starting to break, I said, just yell at me, switch, and we'll switch.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, man. Wall balls are too easy. This is something funny, though. If anybody's listening to this, if you can't do 100 air squats unbroken, you're not going to do 100 wall balls unbroken. Let's just get that there. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm going to do unbroken wall balls. I'm like, can you do 100 unbroken air squats? I'm like, well, no. And I'm like, okay. Well, at the end of a race, man, it's not going to miraculously come to you. So start out with air squats, people.
Yeah. I always tell people the air squats, then graduate to the jump squats, then go over to thrusters, and then, incorporate doing the wall balls in there too as part of that. And then you'll gradually just keep getting better, but it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, right?
No, 100%. It does take a lot of time. Athletes who train for 100 unbroken wall balls, it's like they're putting in a lot of time for that. It's not an easy day, especially, even running doubles too, when you're absolutely cooked and your partner's dragging you around the course for an hour.
Yeah. The last two Hyroxes I've been to, Vegas and Phoenix. I think it was Vegas, Phoenix. But anyway, Center sets up their stuff there. Mm-hmm. And they have a wall ball challenge, that if you do the 100 wall balls unbroken, they write your name down and you get put into a drawing at the end of the day for all that center equipment, right? And it's like $3,000 worth of center equipment. So I got done at Phoenix in doubles, and me and a group of guys were walking past the center. And I go, hey, you guys, this is the center thing where you can do the 100 wall balls. And the lady looks at me, and they're all looking at me. They're like, you going to do it? I was like, I just got done racing. I was still sweating and still white, still had the white flush face. And I go, I guess I'm doing 100 wall balls. So I sat there. It's only the 14-pound wall ball when you go do the center thing. So I just sat there, threw up 100 wall balls. The guys I raced with and the guys that were standing there like, dude, you just got done racing and you freaking did 100 wall balls?
That's awesome. That's crazy. You're crazy for that. That's awesome. I love that.
I love it. I like you, I thoroughly enjoy this shit, right?
Yeah.
What the hell else am I going to do?
I don't know, man. I always throw in, some ultras every once in a while. But for me, I absolutely love training for it, man. It's all about the process. It's all about the experience. I mean, at the end of the day, time's going to pass. You might as well, have something cool you're chasing. Yes.
All right. So we talked, obviously we share the same language of wall balls. If you could eliminate one station, what station would you eliminate and what would you replace it with?
I think, man, this is hard. So this will go into something deeper here in a second. I think I would eliminate burpees.
Yep.
I think I would eliminate burpees, and this is the sole reason. I think it's really hard to judge the burpees.
Yeah.
And I don't really like the standard rules. So it's not so much from a station standpoint of I don't mind doing burpees. They suck, but it is. And I think that I would replace it with something that could be more easily judged, and then also more strength based to balance out the race. I don't quite know what that is yet, though.
Yeah.
I put a lot of thought into it. So it's something easier to judge and something that's going to balance out the strength. Because it's a majority of running, and I thought about this. And then if it was truly 100% hybrid, we'd have sort of a 50% strength, 50% running. But we see it on the fasting side where, it's 60% running, I think, for the average individual. So something more strength-based to really see and sort of take the edge out of somebody who's, coming from just a pure running background, to be like, all right, cool. Now can you match up with me? Because like I said, I'm primarily a strength guy. I come from CrossFit. I'm all the power stations, I'm great. I think the fastest station times I've had, me and my partner did it in 18 minutes. All the stations in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
So high power output. So I'd like to see something that would challenge a more cardio-based athlete in a strength way and just bounce out the race.
You could do maybe box step-ups or box overs, right?
I feel like that'd be hard to do too, unless you're just doing box overs instead of step-ups, because people wouldn't necessarily open up their hips and we'd see more judging issues with that.
True.
Something that would be unilateral. I mean, I don't know if it would be maybe something like total calorie output on an erg, possibly. So something that's actually truly power based versus cardio. That could be argued. Like
the bike, throw the assault bike in there.
Possibly. That's a little bit more strength than cardio, in my opinion. You have to have high power output to get to those calories quick. So, So something more strength based, just balance that out a little bit.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I'd say 70% of the people say to throw the assault bike in there somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, not necessarily another carry, but we need to put some weight on people and see hey, now can you move? Now can you flush again mid-race and keep going?
Yeah.
Because when you look at the race too, it really isn't front side heavy on strength and output, metabolic output, right? Ski, cool. That's just an extension of your first run when you approach it. Stay at tempo, don't blow yourself up. But when you look at it, those two sleds, the amount of actual amount of packs, the metabolic effort it takes to move those, a cost standpoint is super high. But then you go into burpees and row, which again favor more of a cardio-based athlete. And then carry, I guess it could be strength, but again, it's for some people, I mean, I'm almost 200 your way, so me carrying around 140 don't matter.
Yeah.
And then lunges again, sub-maximal load, and then wall ball sub-maximal load. So where can we interject something that would require the same sort of metabolic cost as the sled push or the pull at the halfway point to balance out what it really is?
Well, Lifetime Fitness does the The deadlift, they do the 10,000-pound deadlift, and they give you several different options on weights to use. That would be an interesting concept to throw in there.
Yeah, deadlift would be interesting. Again, man, I'd have to really like go back to my drawing board and be like, all right, cool. Like I would probably like math it out and be like, well, this is the cost here. This is the force produced per sled. Like,
right.
Yeah, but it's something cool, man. I don't know. It's cool. I think it's a great race. Let me ask you this: do you think we're going to see an evolution to where DECA has like the fit, the strong, the short, where they have like a Hyrox sprint?
I think they have something like that coming up next year.
Actually, I think I did see that maybe.
Yeah, it's I can't remember. I don't know. It's like a half Hyrox, maybe, if you will. I can't remember, but it's something that they're throwing out there for a little less taxing of a race, even less taxing than an open race.
Yeah. Was it half runs? Maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember. It makes sense, man. Yeah, I think the sport's gonna evolve a little bit too, which is gonna be cool. I don't know that they'll ever change from their current setup, but it would be cool again to see like, okay, how do we make this race truly hybrid, which is 50-50, and take and I don't mind it. I'm going to get better at running, but how do we take the edge from the runners and make this like you have to be truly 50-50 balanced to make this to win at this race?
Yes. Yeah. You talked about the evolution of this. I would love to see this get into the high schools because there's no other sport in high school where it's pure assessment of fitness, like in a Hyrox vein. The other thing is the ability to run doubles. Like, let's say if you and I were in high school together and we were on a Hyrox, team in a high school, and you ran doubles against other high schools, or mixed doubles, because there's no other sport in high school where you would run with a lady partner, as far as I know, or race with a female partner. And I think this would be just tremendous at the high school level.
So it's kind of funny. I've actually sent emails regarding this, and I said Hyrox is missing a huge market right now.
Yeah.
Not even high school, but also college.
Yeah.
Why would you do a college invitational and invite these colleges in an off season? I know they don't have off seasons, but like invite them out. And I think that it would be really cool to see that. I mean, I don't want to say it's grassroots, but go back to it to where you're hosting, high school meets.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is your Texas State Hyrox high school meet. We have it's not an invitational. It's open to all high school athletes only. It's going to be for one Saturday. We're going to invite you guys out. And if you ran it like a track meet to where they put up their, best 5 pro athletes, their best 5 men athletes, best 5 female athletes, and then you have your doubles relays, and whoever gets first gets points, and you have a Hyrox state champion for your high school, man. It'd be so cool.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. It allows that kid, like I was that kid that I was okay in sport, but if you gave me running and lifting together, I could crush it. Right? I was good at baseball. I was okay at basketball. I was horrible at football. But if you gave me fitness, I could crush it. Like my junior year of high school, I had the squat record in our high school, and but I was not that standout football player. Right? I was a horrible football player, but I could out fitness most of those guys any day in the gym.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like there's athleticism and there's sports bias, like athletes. I mean, I feel like they're different. A lot of people would argue this with me, but like to be good at football, you have to have a specific set of skills. To be fit, you just have to basically express your fitness, produce force, and be fast. Completely different routes. So like you said, it'd be cool to see those athletes who might not have the skill necessary to be a good basketball player, a good football player, but still be able to express their fitness and the conditioning and the level of fitness they've built in a different way. And I think Hyrox would do that. That would be cool.
Yeah, completely agree. So a couple last questions here. You train better alone, with a buddy, or in a group, or any combination of? In a group.
I'd always do better in a group, yeah. So I would say 90% of my training is like kind of on my own.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, outside of like run club and maybe like one workout a week, a lot of it's on my own just because out of necessity. Like it is what it is. It's not where I prefer to be. I prefer to be in that group. But yeah, it's whatever we do. For me, it's like, I'm sure it's this way. It's not really like, am I going to train? It's like, I'm going to train. It's however I have to do it. It's a necessity at this point.
Yes. All right. Race day. What is going through your head when you're in the start tent and when you're out there racing? What are you saying to yourself?
Depends on the race and what I'm saying to myself during the race. But I think it's gratitude. I mean, again, 48 races, soon to be 50 at this point. Like, I'm just grateful to be on the course. And I'm almost in my zen. So I'm comfortable out there. It's where I'm happy. I love racing, and I've worked months just to get out there. So it's a gratitude in the start tunnel. When I'm racing, it's please don't puke for the most part. Depending on my partner. I think what was in Atlanta last year, Clayton did believe me. I wasn't feeling good before the race, but I almost actually puked on him during the rower. So it's please don't puke. But no, man, it's just gratitude. Again, like when you're out there, and I told you this, I feel like I get inspired when I'm running, and I see people out there who, they're putting themselves out there and, trying this race for the first time, and I might not be in the best shape, but they're still going at it, even if they're walking, and that kind of inspires me to just keep moving. And just be thankful that I get to kind of witness that when I'm running.
Yes. Well, we'll wrap it up here. What's your next race?
So I'll be in Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in Sweden. I think I'll see you guys in Sweden. I was possibly going to do New York, but I need to rest a little bit and work on close some gaps in training.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be in Sweden. We're taking 10 athletes this year, so we're pretty excited.
Oh, 10 athletes from just your gym?
Yeah, so we've been really fortunate. So we qualified 10 athletes this year. Last year we sent 9, and we've helped build over 20 qualifying athletes, and our gym has 52 podiums. So we have a pretty serious program. But the cool thing is all of us are the same. We all work. We have kids' responsibilities, work 9 to 5s, and we just came together, have a really cool crew, and get after it.
Oh, cool. Well, I looked so forward to meeting those guys at the gym. Obviously, we'll get together for a big U.S. picture when we're out there in Sweden.
100%. That's the best part, man. That's the best team. It's so cool because we race each other competitively, like on the course, like every single race almost, right? And then at Worlds, it's like, man, it's just so cool to be there with your U.S. teammates and stand side by side and represent your country. And win or lose, it's just really cool. Because I don't know about you, but even when I see a U.S. athlete on the course, I'm like, go get them. I have nothing against any of the countries, but I'm like, Team USA, go! It's a really cool experience to all be wearing our flag. Like I got to wear my flag in combat, and I get to wear it again in Hyrox. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is truly it's a magical experience. I think. Yeah, it's 100%. Something. Yeah. It's something that I'm never going to make the Olympics or anything like that, but this is just pretty cool to be able to do it in age group, right?
Absolutely. I will say I do hope one thing. I don't want to keep on taking up your time, but I do hope they change it to time-based qualifications and not just podiums. So yeah, I feel like we're missing a big gap. I feel like there's a lot of athletes that deserve to be there based upon their times, but unfortunately, you don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Very true. Yep. No, I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's cool, man. I'm excited. I think it's great, and I love that you're doing this for the age group podiums. I mean, we're those who work in 9 to 5s, but still trying to get after it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So far it's trending right. Like all the videos are getting pretty good views. I get feedback from people that they get out on the treadmill or whatever, or their zone 2 day, and it's interesting. Guys like listening to music when they work out, and girls, the ladies, they all like podcasts.
Murder mysteries.
Yeah. So
Murder Mystery Podcast.
Yeah.
My loves it. Sorry. No, you're right. That's cool. They get on here and listen to the podcast, man. It's I feel like I've listened to some of the stuff that you have out here. I think it's cool, man. I think a lot of people can relate to the podcast that you're putting on because again, like we have kids, we have responsibilities, we have jobs, but we still make it a point to get after it, perform quite well in the sport. So I think it's really cool that people can connect with this podcast and what you're doing.
Yes. Well, thanks, Talon. I appreciate your time today and joining me. I'll send you a message in Messenger when we get done here, some further little instructions to cap this off. But I appreciate your time, Talon. We'll see you in Stockholm.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
One last question. What day are you guys going over? Do you remember?
Oof. My mom is like the team mom, so she has all my travel plans. I think she knows all my travel plans for the family. We're all coming over there. I think we get there Friday morning in time. I think Friday morning's the ceremony, right? Or is it Thursday?
Thursday ceremony.
We might be eating there Thursday morning.
Okay.
Possibly. I have to see because I think I'm taking off like June 16th or something like that, June 17th.
Yeah, that's when we leave too. We leave the 16th. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when we're headed over is the 16th to the 27th. We're going to Switzerland afterwards. So I'm taking my wife and daughter and my mom and dad to Switzerland. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. So go race and then do a little bit of tourist stuff.
You have, that's like the coolest part, right? Like you go into these new cities and you go and race and, have fun. And then you get to go see the cities. Like you were in Nice, right? I think. Nice. Yeah. Popped over to Monaco. Like you go up the coast, man. It was just beautiful. Yeah.
It is so cool. The Hyrox gives you a reason to travel, right? So you go there, you feel embedded kind of in the culture, or you feel embedded in that city a little bit in some way because of Hyrox. Yeah. And then you go out and do the touristy things, and it's so cool to combine the two.
Yeah, or you meet somebody there who's a local, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll show you everything," and you're like, "Yeah, this is awesome."
Yeah, exactly. Really nice. Yeah, the other I love going to the foreign gyms too, right? And knocking out a training session or two just to see how they train and what's different over there. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's a fun aspect too.
Yeah, unfortunately I haven't been able to do that. Every time I fly in, it's like fly in, I
Yeah.
have my shakeout run and race. But no, that would be really, really cool. I have a buddy who's actually in Spain right now training. He's going to be my pro doubles partner for the first couple of races next year, man. He loves it. He says the same thing you do. It's really cool to see different training theories, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I love just going to see, like, when I go to a different, like, even locally, I'll go to different training sessions just to see how people are training. And yeah, it's fun to see the different levels. And then, I always go in, I don't know what to expect, right? I'm like, okay, I signed up for, a training session at this gym or whatever. And I look at it more as, am I going to be like this goes through my head? I'll be like, can I get through the session? Whatever they're doing, am I going to be able to get through the session? Of course you can, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the unknown of like, oh shit, what are they going to do to me here today?
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. No, I think that's super cool. Definitely get some insight. But
yeah,
I love it, man. It's a cool sport. It's a cool community, and I really think for anybody out there, like we're just getting started.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Talon. We will see you in Stockholm.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it.
Thanks, Talon.
Yep. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye-bye.